Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-salakaya Chakkhurunamilitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sijuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatham Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Ritan Sri Vishakham Mitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषाभानुसुता देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome to the Janmastami series. Today is the first lecture of the series where we should know the Krishna Tattva, the first very introduction lecture on the Janmastami special is born of the unborn. So as you know that Janmastami, the auspicious August advent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is very near approaching. It is on 7th or somewhere in India. It is also 6th of September. So let us know that the Supreme Personality, why the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is unborn is taking birth. First of all, we know the fundamental philosophy, fundamental understanding of the why the Supreme Lord has to come down on this earth. So we should understand that the birth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, although he is unborn, he comes on this earth, and all this incarnation also come for the purpose he has already stated in Bhagavad Gita. You can see here in Bhagavad Gita. So he has stated these beautiful verses that why he has to come. So in this Bhagavad Gita also Krishna say, my appearance or my advent in this material world is not like ordinary living entities takes birth. Ordinary living entity takes birth in accordance with karma, according to his karma. Sometimes one takes birth in a very rich family like Bill Gates. Some person also, according to his karma, takes birth in the poor family like gatekeepers. Prince, somebody is taking birth in a very affluent family. Somebody is taking birth in a very poverty-stricken family. So this discrepancy is there according to our karma. But Lord appearance is nothing to do with karma. Therefore, Krishna says that in this Bhagavad Gita, Ajo pishan abhyatma bhutanam ishwara pishan prathituṁ swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates. Although I am the Lord of all living entity, by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental. Yes, Lord is unborn. But why he is taking birth? First of all, he here stated very categorically, yes, I am unborn. I takes birth. But my taking birth does not resemble the taking birth of ordinary living entity. Because ordinary living entity always takes birth according to the karma. So it is stated here that karmena daivanetrena. According to the karma, the personality of God, it's under the supervision of Supreme Lord, and according to the result of his work, living entity soul is made enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. So our appearance, our birth is conditioned is forced by the material energy of the Lord, forced according to our karma. We cannot choose our birth. As far as Lord is concerned, he told according to his sweet will. Why? Because his birth is transcendental. He is not affected by the karma. Namam karmani limpanti. Name karma phalaspraha. So Krishna himself saying in Bhagavad Gita, there is no work that affects, nor do I aspire the fruit of the action. So karma does not affect the Supreme Personality of God. So when he descends, avatar means avatarana, descending. When he descends according to his sweet will, not according to the karma affected by the karma. So it is stated in Bhagavatam also that Lord's appearance is not equal to the appearance of ordinary living entity. O Supreme Lord, you are not an ordinary living entity appearing in this material world as a result of fruitive activities. Therefore, your appearance or birth in this world is no other cause than your pleasure potency. Similarly, living entity who are part of you, you have no cause for misery like birth and death, old age, except when living entity are conducted by your external energy. Just like we have also no birth. We have no birth. We are spirit soul. But when we come in contact with this material energy, due to our misdirected desire to become a god, that time we are undergoing all this repeated birth, death, disease, old age. As such, Bhagavad Gita says that we have also no birth and death. Na jayate muryate ba nayam ba kadachin nayam bhutta bhavita vana bhuya ajanitya sasastayam purana na hanyate hanyamane sarira. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been, though he never ceased to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, primal. He is not slain when the body is. So we are also unborn, but due to our misdirected desire to become a lord, to become a god, to become a master, defying the authority of the Supreme Lord, when you fall down in this material nature. And apparently, falsely, we are trying to be master here. At that time, we are undergoing this process of changing the body from one species to another species. But for Krishna, he is not affected by karma. He comes down under his sweet. His appearance is divine. Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam jabeti tattva. So Krishna's appearance is that who knows the transcendental nature. His appearance is divine, is transcendental, not by the affected by karma. Does not upon leaving the body takes birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. That is the benefit. That is the benefit of understanding the Krishna's activities. Therefore he comes. Why he comes? Although he said in Bhagavad Gita, the next verse, just two previous verses, that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamayam paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavani. Although he says that where there is a discrepancy in religious practices, I come and reestablish the dharma and kill the miscreants and protect the devotee. But this kind of business, this purpose can be arranged by his agent. Like we have Indra, Varunas, Durga Devi, all their agents. They can smash, they can kill. It is not a big thing. By his breathing process, billions of universe has been created. And in one universe, there is one miscreant. Howsoever great like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana may be. But to kill him, his agent is enough. This is also stated in this beautiful verses. Lord does not need to come into the material world. But why he is coming? What is the secret of that? It is stated in these beautiful verses that that there are many agents of the Lord, such as Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Goddess Durga, and Kali, who can chastise any formidable miscreant in the world. Example of mountain smashed being smashed by the thunderbolt is very appropriate. The mountain is considered the most strongly built body within the universe. Yet it can be easily smashed by the arrangement of Supreme Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not need to descend in order to kill any strongly built body. He comes down just for the sake of the devotee. Everyone is subject to misery offered by material nature, but because the activities of miscreants such as killing innocent people, animals, torturing women are harmful to everyone, and therefore source of pain of the devotee, Lord comes down. Descends only to give relief to his ardent devotee. That is whole idea. He does not need to come. Even the agent can do that. To establish dharma, even his agent like Acharya can come. To protect his devotee, even Hare Krishna Mahamantra, his name is enough. But he comes due to give pleasure to the ardent devotee. He gives pleasure to the ardent devotee. Otherwise, he has nothing to do with material existence. He doesn't need to come. An example is cited that there was a king called Akbar, Mughal emperor, and he was a nine minister, one of the ministers called Birbal. And he asked the same question, why the Lord has to come down, descend? He could have sent his, all his agents to accomplish the task of killing or protecting the devotee. So the Birbal answer was that Birbal did not answer immediately. So there was a time where they were loitering near the water ponds. That time Birbal made a replica of his son of the Akbar king and he threw into the water. And he shouted, "Your son is drowning." That time Akbar himself jumped to save him. Then the Akbar found it is just a replica and joke. He was about to chastise him that what is the cause of all this drama. Then Birbal answered that, just like that, you jumped because you want to save your son from being drowning, despite the fact that you could have asked all your guards, all your all your agents to jump and save your son, but you himself drowned. Himself jumped to save your son. Similarly, Lord is so affectionate to his ardent devotee. Although Lord is impartial, but he is more favorably disposed to the devotees, ardent devotees. Therefore, he himself descends to give them pleasure. That is also stated by Brahmaji, that what is the very root cause of Lord to come down in this material world. Prapanca-niṣprapañco viḍambayasi bhū-tale prapanna-janatānanda sandohaṁ prathituṁ prabho. So in these verses he says that, my dear master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and imitate material life just to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your surrender. That is the whole idea. Because we have torn away from the Lord, and Lord does not want his children to suffer, because he is the affectionate father. Despite, just like a rebellious child is estranged from the father and loitering on the street, undergoing so much trial, trouble, and tribulations. Similarly, we are the part and parcel of the Lord. We belong to the kingdom of God, but voluntarily we have estranged or divorced Lord due to our misdirected desire to become a God, to become a master, and which is not possible because constitutionally we are subservient of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa hoye Nitya Krishnara Dasa. So we are subservient to the Lord constitutionally. And when you're trying to become, by misusing our partial independence, when you're trying to become, Jivera Swarupa hoye Nitya Krishnara, real. So our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that our identity is that eternal servant of Krishna. And when you're trying to be master, then we fall down. And Lord created this material world to give us a facility to become falsely master. At the same time, he comes down personally because of his unbounded mercy, unbounded causeless mercy, and love for his living entity, because he is the father to reclaim the conditioned soul back to Godhead. So Krishna comes down, the saints. This is stated in these beautiful verses, that how he created this material world to rehabilitate us, at the same time reform us. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross subtle element just for our sensual satisfaction. Let your causeless mercy be upon us. You have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with the splendid wraith of Tulsi. So it is clearly stated here that material world is not created by the personal will of Supreme Lord. It is created by the external energy because the living entity wants to enjoy it. This material world is not created for those who do not want to enjoy sense gratification, who constantly remain in transcendental loving service, who are eternal Krishna consciousness. For them, spiritual world is eternally existing. They enjoy their elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated that for those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this material world is useless, because this material world is full of danger at every step. It is meant for the devotee for living. It is not meant for devotee, but for living entity who want to lord it over the material nature at their own risk. Krishna is so kind that he allowed the sense enjoying living entity, a separate world created by him, to enjoy as they like. Yet at the same time, he appears in his personal form. Lord unwillingly created this material world. He descends in his personal form, or sends one of his reliable son or a servant or a reliable author like Vyasadeva to give instruction. He himself also instructs in his speeches of Bhagavad Gita. So this propaganda work goes on side by side with creation to convince the misguided living entity who are rotting in the material world to come back to him, surrender to him. So that is the thing. Therefore, the last instruction is give up all the manufactured engagement in the material world. Just surrender unto me, I shall protect you from all sin. So that is a beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada, that Lord is not created this by personal will. Because we want to become a master, and Vaikuntha, only one master is Krishna. It is not possible for us to become a master. Therefore, the separate world is created so that we can become falsely master. It is a false master. And at the same time, Lord comes down to bring the conditioned living entity who has turned away from the Lord to bring back to God. That is his kindness. Therefore, he comes with so many incarnations. It is stated here with beautiful verses that how we have torn away our faces. This is the very root cause of our problem. In this beautiful verses, it is stated that those who have torn away from the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, being under the spell of Lord's illusory energy, are eventually forced to give up their so-called homes, children, friends, wives, lovers, which were all created by illusory potential of Supreme Lord, enter again their will into the darkest region of the. So Lord is created. We are thinking that, okay, I am the now master in this material world. Everybody thinking, Purusha Prakrishtitati. They are thinking that I am the enjoyer. I am the God. Therefore, whole material world is competition to become a master. But they have no idea that under the spell of Lord's illusory energy, Maya, eventually they're forced to give up their so-called home. They're thinking that I am the master. Napoleon Bonaparte come, he told, I am the master. Alexander came, he himself declared, I am the master. So many people have come in the history, they're trying to be the God. Everybody trying to be the master. But eventually they have to die. They have to give up. They have to give up their homes, their friends, wives, lovers, property, associates. Everything will be taken away. In this way, they are rotting and rotating different species of life since time immemorial. It is stated here, they enter against their will into the darkest region of the universe. So to show the compassion Lord comes in different incarnation. He personally comes as the Krishna, the Supreme Lord, his form, to reclaim the conditioned soul. That is the main purpose of his descent. Therefore, it is stated that Dhanasya Krishna Vimukhasya Daivad Adharmasilasya Sudukkhitasa. Janasya Krishna Vimukhasya. When you become Krishna Vimukhya, when you turn away our face from Krishna, Krishna Bahirmukha Jiva Bhagavan Chakare Nikatastha Mayatare Chapatiya. Then our problems begins. Our problem begins. When you start planning of happiness separately from the Lord, in conquest of being a god, becoming a god, that time our problem starts. It is stated here, this beautiful verses, that problem starts when we are actually thinking that I want to become a master. In this material world, every materialist desire to active happiness diminishes distress. Therefore, he acts accordingly. Actually, however one is happy, as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity for happiness, his condition of distress begins. Because this material world is conducted by the Maya. So to show his compassion, Lord comes down. It is stated in this beautiful verses that how Lord is compassion. To show causeless mercy to devotee who take birth in future in the age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna acted in such a way that simply by remembering him, one will be freed from all lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. In other words, he acted so that all future devotees by accepting the instruction of Krishna consciousness stated in Bhagavad Gita would be relieved from the pangs of material existence. The whole idea of giving instruction to reclaimers. Even though he comes and kills the miscreants also delivered. That is the mercy of Krishna. Extreme mercy of the Krishna. And he does all the activities, his birth, his activities, and his lifting of Govardhan hill, killing of the Asuras. So many demons has been killed by the Krishna. So many wonderful activities has been done. Simply by hearing them, simply by knowing his activities, transcendental activities and appearance, one can stop this repetition, birth and death. That is also stated by Brahma, that Krishna's mercy, how is manifested in this world. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusim dehamastita bhajate tadriskrida yasutra tatparo bhave. When the Lord assumes a human-like body to show mercy to his devotee, he engages in such pastime as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated. That is whole idea. Therefore, all Jhulan Jatra, Janmastami, Balaram Jayanti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself come, Nrsimhadev, all this incarnation, what for? Just to attract us, to divert our attention from matter to spirit, and supreme spiritual reality is Krishna. So that we can stop this obnoxious principle of material existence, birth, death, disease, old age, so and so forth. That is whole idea, the Krishna's descents. Although he has so many reasons of coming, therefore it is Krishna, this Kunti Devi is bewildering actually. Kunti Devi, the great devotee, he also bewildered Krishna, how you are unborn. Janma karma cha vishwatman ajashakatur atmanaha tiryannissu yadasu tadatyanta vidambanam. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work through your work, though you are inactive, that you take birth, though you are vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend among animals, main, sages, aquatic. This is very beautiful. See, Lord has taken so many incarnations, so many species. Among the species also, he comes in Bara. But he is not that species. He is transcendental. His body is transcendental. He comes for the purpose of reclaiming the conditioned soul and particularly give the pleasure to the devotees, ardent devotees, who has been suffering in this material world, to bring them back. So therefore his appearance is very, very auspicious. O Supreme Controller, your Lordship previously accepted the incarnation as peace, hostatage, Nrsimhadev, Boar, Swan, Lord Ramachandra, Parsuram among the demigods, Vamandev to protect the entire world by your mercy. Now please protect us again by your mercy by diminishing the disturbances in the world. O Krishna, best of the Jadu, we respectful of all our obeisance. These are the so many incarnations of the Lord. He comes down and we deride sometimes. We are so ungrateful. We have no mood to reconcile. We are so stubborn. We are so presumptuous, so, what you say, arrogant, so audaciously. We have rejected Krishna's proposal that you just surrender unto me, I will bring you back to God. We defy. Sometimes we defy his activities like lifting up Govardhan or playing, stealing of cloth of gopis, or playing, Rasalila with all this, seemingly adulterous. They have no idea. Krishna is only the proprietor, only the husband of everyone, only the master of everyone. All the living entities are subject of Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord, everything emanates. Ham sarvasya prabhava, matah sarvam pravartate, iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhava samannita. Every subject, everything belongs to him, emanates from him. We are all subject of Krishna. So there is nothing wrong in his activity. But people's ignorant people, these envious people, because enviousness, they want to master, they do not want to accept the supremacy of the Lord. They deride Krishna. They criticize Krishna without knowing that. Without knowing his supremacy. Without knowing the truth of Krishna. So therefore it is stated that there's a beautiful verses. He alone who is never afraid, but who on the contrary gives complete shelter to all fearful person can actually become a husband and protector. Therefore, my Lord, you are only husband. No one else can claim this position. If you were not only husband, you would be afraid of others. Therefore, person learned in all Vedic literature accept only your lordship as everyone's master. They think no one else a better husband and protector than you. Sometimes they deride why the Krishna has to do this armos or adulterous activities like sporting with or having an affair, extramarital affair with the gopis. But actually they have no idea. Krishna is the only husband, only protector, only husband. And Lord comes to exhibit all these transcendental activities, to divert our attention, because we are now very much fascinated, very much, captivated by this mundane attachment, mundane personalities, to glorify mundane personality and all. But Lord comes to divert that who can be the perfect person to glorify. He is complete in everything. Aisharyasya, samagrasa, veerasya, jasasya, sriya, jnana, vairagya, everything. He is the most beautiful, most strongest person. He lifted Govardhan hill in left hand. His fame is three over the world, all over the world, three world, not in this little period of time. His beauty is surpassing even the millions of Cupid. Knowledge, nobody can challenge the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas. Renunciation, nobody can be renounced. So many incarnations is come as a very renowned like Rishabhadev. So that kind of attractive personality cannot be found in three worlds. Therefore, he himself comes to exhibit or enact such pastime so that we will be attracted to him. Therefore, he personally comes and enact all the pastime. When you understand this pastime in truth, why the unborn is born, why these activities and appearance is not ordinary activities, it's a transcendental activity, transcendental appearance. He comes with his sweet will, and his activities are never affected by the three modes of material nature. Never be contaminated. Although seemingly contaminated, is never contaminated. He's a papa vidhi. Cannot be. God is all perfect. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam, supremely pure. Rather, we, the living entity, when you come in contact with the Lord, we become purified. Therefore, He is coming, descending to give His association in different way, by His instruction, by His form, by His entourage, by His paraphernalia, by His abode, by His devotees, by His son, by His servant. By so many ways, He gives the association, opportunity to have association with Him, so that the conditioned soul can be purified, because He is supreme purifier. Just like iron, when you come in touch with fire, and eventually, gradually, it acquires the qualities of fire. So we get purified and eligible to go back to God. Otherwise, in a conditioning state, we are not qualified. Desanti antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. Unless we stop all these sinful action, sinful activities, all contamination. As long as we have this contamination, we cannot go back. We have to disinfect. To disinfect, Krishna comes by giving his association. That is the, that is his process. That is his causeless mercy of coming down to the material world. It is not that, his appearance, just like he appears in the womb of Devaki. It is stated here that how he appears. Although he can appear anytime. It's not that sun is rising in the east. That means east is the mother of the sun. Sun can rise in the anywhere. Similarly, Lord comes, doesn't mean that he is my father, he is my brother, he is from that group. He can do anything, anywhere, any place. It is stated here that thereafter, accompanied by plenary expansion of fully opulent Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to mind of Devaki. So he does not come like pregnancy like this. He comes first the mind of Vasudeva and mind of Devaki. Devaki, having been initiated by Vasudeva, became beautiful by carrying the Lord Krishna original consciousness for everyone, the cause of all causes within the core of her heart, just as the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising sun. As indicated here by the word Manasta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudeva mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. We should note carefully that Lord was transferred to Devaki not by the ordinary way for a human being, but by Diksha initiation. Thus, the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person, who always carry within the heart of Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of one. Yeah, Achutyansam is used because Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sadaishcharapunna, full in opulences of wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. The Supreme Godhead is never separated from his personal opulences, as stated in Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murti Sukalaniyam, Palaniyamena Krishna. Lord is always situated with his plenary expansion, such as Ram, Nrsimha. Therefore, what Achutyansam is specially used here, signifying that Lord is always present within his plenary expansion and opulences. There is no need to think of Lord artificially. A yogi, jnana vasishtha turgatena manasa pasyantiyam yogina. Yogi meditate upon the Supreme Person within the mind. For a devotee, however, Lord is present. His presence is need only to be advocated for initiation by a bona fide spiritual person. Lord did not need to live within the womb of Devaki, for his presence within the core of her heart was sufficient to carry him. One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki. That's he carried the child within the womb. See? When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like a glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable, scorching to the commandment. The form of the Lord situated in pure unalloyed heart of Vasudeva is not different from original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere, especially within the heart, is called dham, or refers not only to Krishna form but also to his name, his qualities, paraphernalia, everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form of Supreme Personality of Godhead with full of potency was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the condition of ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood along with him are all his plenary expansions of the Narayana. His incarnations are not Singha Varaha, that they are not subject to condition by material existence. In this way, Devaki becomes the resident of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, because of all creation. Devaki became the resident of the Absolute Truth, but because she was within the house of conscience, she looked just like a suppressed fire, misused education. So here it is said that how the Lord appears. Lord did not appear just like a womb, just like the ordinary living entity coming out from the womb of the mother, injected by this sperm of the husband. No, Krishna comes appear in the mind or heart of the Vasudeva and transport to the Devaki. So that is the difference between the Krishna who is unborn is born, is not resembles the born of any living entity. Any living entity. Therefore, his whole purpose of coming to this material world to save us. The Sukadev Goswami has very nicely spoke these beautiful verses. O king, for the sake of protecting cows, Brahmana, demigod, devotee, the Vedic literature, religious principle to fulfill the purpose of life, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the forms of incarnation. So many incarnations he comes, and personally also he comes, so that we can be delivered. Krishna takes birth to stop our rebirth. The unborn takes birth to stop our rebirth. Actually, it is a fact. It is stated in these beautiful verses that main purpose of Krishna's coming. We can see in these verses. It is stated here that Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, is the reservoir of all beauty. All beautiful things emanate from him. His personal form is so attractive that it steals the eyes away from all other objects, which then seem devoid of beauty in comparison to him. When the Lord Krishna was on the earth, he attracted the eyes of all people. When Krishna spoke his word, attracted the minds of all who remembered them. By seeing the footstep of Lord Krishna, people became attracted to him, and thus they wanted to offer their bodily activity to Lord as his followers. In this way, Krishna very easily spread his glories, which are sung throughout the world by the most sublime and essential Vedic verses. Lord Krishna considered that a very important thing, line. Lord Krishna considered that simply by hearing and chanting those glories, conditioned soul born in future would cross beyond the darkness of ignorance. Being satisfied with this arrangement, he left his desired destination. So whole idea to enact or appear and enact so that we hear and glorify his wonderful adbhuta karmana, wonderful activities, then we can go back to God. Easiest process of going back to Godhead. It is elsewhere stated that the easiest process of going back to Krishna is hearing and glorifying his name. My dear Lord, those pious and saintly persons who in the age of Kali hear about your transcendental activities, also glorify them, will easily cross over the darkness of death. That is the medicine, that is the concession, the merciful concession Krishna has given. One time Prabhupada was asked, what is the favorite, Prabhupada, what is your favorite verse of Bhagavad Gita? Everybody was expecting Sarva Dharman Parityaga, Manmana Bhava, and so forth. Prabhupada said, Janma Karma Chame Divya, Evam Duviti. Because simply by understanding the Lord appearance and activities is transcendental, one can stop this Takta Deham. By after quitting this body, one cannot again come to this material existence, obnoxious material existence. One can go back to Godhead. That is the merciful concession of the Lord. That is the root cause of Lord's descent, divine descent. Divine descents. So all the incarnation also come for that purpose also. It is stated there, all the aniha rupani, vidatham vivarsihi, aniha, to enjoy your pastime and you manifest yourself in various form in this material world. This incarnation cleanses away all the unhappiness, those who joyfully chant your glory. Because this material world is asas dukkhalayam asasvatam, very temporary and miserable, unhappiness, world of unhappiness. To cleanses away all unhappiness, you come and enacted in such a way that when people hear about your glories, your appearance, your activities, they know about your appearance, they will go back to God. Any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, had killed Putana, thus invest his hearing in such childhood first time, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original. So even he kills the any activities, even in killing of demons also, that is also very auspicious of hearing, and one can go back to God. What to speak about, any activities, any of his activities. Therefore, it is said that Tava Vikreditam Krishna Ninnam Paramamangalam Karana Piyusam Asadhya Tajjanti Anyaspiha Janaha. Oh, my dear Krishna, your pastime are supremely auspicious for mankind, are an intoxicating beverage for the ears. Tasting such pastime, people forget their desire for other things. Our main cause of this material bondage due to our misdirected desire, misdirected material desire. So therefore, when you hear the pastimes of this Krishna, his appearance and activities, which is very auspicious and very intoxicating, because Krishna Katha is very always fresh. It's not like newspaper I hear and tomorrow I throw it in the dustbin. No, Krishna Katha is very, very auspicious and very pleasing. It is stated here that beautiful verses, very pleasing. Brahmana Krishna Katha Punyam Madhavi Lokamalapaha Onutittatta Sinvanaha Sutagya Nityanutanaha. What experienced listener of Brahmana could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming, ever-fresh topics of Krishna, which cleanses away world's contamination? Is so sweet, so pleasing, so soothing, and also decontaminating, disinfecting. That is the auspiciousness, auspicity of Krishna Katha. Therefore, he comes down. He comes down for that purpose, to reclaim the conditioned soul. It is stated here that Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam Tadeva sasyan manasamosam Tadeva sakrina sosanam ninnam yaduttama sloka dasanagiyate. Those words describing the glories of all famous personality of Godhead are attractive, releasable, ever-fresh. Indeed, such words are perpetually festival for the mind, the dry of the ocean of misery. So Krishna's advent, auspicious advent Janmastami, is not that Janmastami is gone Krishna. Krishna, this process of taking birth, his juge, every planet it is going on. Now also there is somewhere Janmastami going. So there are billions of planets. Lord comes down, descends, and performs so many activities, purpose of to reclaim the conditioned soul. For the sake of his devotees, actually. For the sake of his devotee, to bring them back. At the same time, the miscreants also who are killed, they also go back to God. That is the special mercy of Krishna. It is stated this demons also Lord killed. Putana, Naga, Baka, Taka, Sakata, Asura. Everybody has been, everybody were delivered by the Krishna after killing them. The Supreme Personality of God had descended to kill demoniac kings who were burden of the earth to protect saintly devotees. However, both the demons and devotees are awarded liberation by the Lord's mercy. Thus, this transcendental fame has spread throughout the world, throughout the universe. That is his extremely merciful. Aho bakiyam tanakar kutam jighansaya payadapi sabdi leve gatim dhatrim uchitam tatanyam kamba dayalum saranam vradema kamba dayalum. Alas, who can be so merciful than Krishna? Who gives the status of mother to Putana, who comes to kill him, to poison, administer poison. See, that is Krishna. Nobody can be so merciful than him. So therefore, it is our duty, it is our incumbent, it is the showing of gratitude to the Lord and celebrating this festival with great um, awe and reverence, with great sincerity, with great seriousness and devotion. We should observe, celebrate this Janmastami festival, so that by such celebrations, we remember Krishna, we hear about his activities, we glorify his activity. In this way, we can purify. We can purify and go back to Godhead. That is the whole purpose of his descending or appearing in this material world. Therefore, it is said that who is this human being who do not like to hear about Krishna? These beautiful verses, final verses we can find out. O Lord, we therefore offer our respectful obeisance to your eternal form and the personality of Godhead, which you have kindly manifested before us. There's a beautiful verse of 351. 38. It is stated that who is there who do not want to hear about Krishna Katha? So with this notes, we stop these things. So we should pray the Krishna that we should celebrate his appearance, remember him on this very auspicious day of Janmastami day, and we try to hear and glorify him, remember him. In this way, we can be purified. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.